Hey, so it is Erica with Wallace House Designs, and today we are going to be painting something super duper fun. We're going to do something a little different. So if you're catching the live, I want you to go ahead and say good morning, hello, good afternoon, whatever it is in your place of the world. And I want you to say hey and let me know where you're watching from. But if you are catching the replay, I want you to put hashtag replay to let me know that you came and hung out with us after hours. So today we're going to be working again on some mixed media paper, but we're not going to be painting a specific design. We're just going to be free painting today, just kind of free hand drawing, just free hand painting, okay? We're going to work on some backgrounds. We're going to be, let's just talk about, we're going to do some Bob Ross trees, okay? Spoiler alert. So my purpose today is, let me show you what we've been doing, what I've been planning for me specifically, not necessarily as design wise, but just personal. So I don't journal like a normal person. I don't get a notebook out with lined paper and journal like that. I doodle. I do art therapy. I even do my Bible study with art. Now I've never jumped into Bible journaling. So I've decided I want to do a little bit of Bible journaling. So I've decided every so often when I feel like just hopping on and doing a little Bible journaling with you, that's what we'll do. We'll pull out some mixed media paper, we'll cut it down, and we'll do something that is going to go into my Bible journal Bible. Now, I did purchase a whole new Bible for this because I have a little bit of a beef with my area. We're in the Bible Belt, but I could not find a used Bible anywhere. I did not want to buy a whole new Bible for this, but it ended up that's what I needed to do because I could not find a Bible in any of my thrift stores. I don't know if there's like a rule against it or what, but it was kind of weird. I went and I complained to my friends about it. I was like, this is ridiculous. I should be able to find a used Bible somewhere. But I digress. Let's move forward. So I'm not one to want to like destroy the book itself. I want to put things into it, like almost like scrapbooking. I don't necessarily want to open the Bible up and color on the page itself. I want to be able to add to the page, like artwork to the page, right? Or to stick something in. I want it to be like when you open the Bible, this particular Bible, I want to be able to look back and see where my brain went when I read that verse. So today I have decided that we are going to do Psalms 19:1. Okay. So oh, look, I literally just went like this and it opened. So Psalms 19:1. This is the vision that I had for this particular verse. Okay. So Psalms 19:1 says, the heavens declare the glory of God and the expanse proclaims the work of his hands. So when I think of the heavens declare the glory of God, I just think like I love to stargaze. I love to go outside. And if y'all did not go outside on Monday and look at Jupiter, you missed out. It was amazing. I love to stargaze, and I love to just go out and look at the stars and just feel small every so often. Sometimes we get so bogged down in our everyday life that things just seem like they're weighing us down and weighing us down and weighing us down because we just know what's in our immediate surroundings in our immediate world. And there are times where I just have to go outside at night and just realize I am like a speck of dust. I am just itty bitty in this whole grand scheme of things. And sometimes the thing that brings me back to center on that is going outside, looking up the stars and like, dear Lord, like I am just one of many of those stars, like just itty bitty, like makes up the whole picture, right? So that's kind of the idea of where I was going with when I dreamt this one up. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it does. So we'll get a little bit of technique in this because there will be some actual painting techniques, but it's not necessarily to teach you technique. We're just going to spend some time here together and just fellowshipping. Good morning, Marie and Rosa and Juanella. Hey, Deetra. Hey, Priscilla. So while we're waiting, let me show you what I'm going to do. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby yesterday for this sole purpose of always having clean water. Even if it's just a little, anytime I need clean water, it's not a whole lot. I just need a little bit. So I've decided, you know what? I just need like a little spray bottle so I can spray a little bit. I'm going to spray down my paper here in a minute, but I want to get my paint palette out, okay? You're probably not going to see my paint palette a whole lot in this, and it's okay. It's not necessary, okay? We're going to start off with Vivid Blue. I pulled Desert Turquoise. I pulled Dioxazine Purple. And I pulled these. I pulled Royal Fuchsia and Magenta. And I think these are, oh, and white. I pulled white. Always white. I think this is what I'm going to make my sky. I kind of want like an ombre, but not specifically an ombre. I kind of want like an aurora, flashy looking sky, like a Northern Lights, but definitely not in the greens. I want it in the blues, the purples, and the pinks. So I'm just going to put a little bit of all of this on my palette. Okay. So that's all I'm doing right now is I'm just going to, there's many ways we could do this background, but we're just going to freehand it. Okay. I don't want a lot of pink. I want the pink to be concentrated at the bottom because I want the bottom of it to be brightest. And you'll see why later. Okay. So we're going to do a night sky. Kind of a really whimsical, pretty night sky. First time I got the notification when you actually started. Oh, I'm so excited, Priscilla. I'm just going to use a big wide brush. This is a big filbert. We can call this a wash. It's it's going to get a lot of color on here real fast. So we're going to first wet our palette or wet our surface, and I'm going to take my little mister. We need it to be a little wet, okay? This is a fine, not ultra fine, but it's a fine mister, okay? I'm going to start off by adding some blue, and I'm going to, instead of going across, usually in ombres, I like to go across. Well, not this time. Remember, I want like a little bit of an aurora sky. So I'm going to start with just a little bit of this vivid blue and start from my way at the top. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Desert Turquoise, not washing my brush. Okay. And start at that little horizon line. And then come back to the top and sweep it down because we don't want brush strokes. Okay. Let's pick up some of this Dioxazine Purple. Okay. And it's okay if it kind of ventures up higher in some spots than others. Let's see. Let's go this way. Kind of want, you know me, I want this purple to show. So we're just working while this water is wet. We're working our brush strokes into this blue. We don't want to take away the blue. We want to add to the blue. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of white and give this sky a little bit of a, just a little bit of a glare before we start adding in any more colors. Okay. I'm going to go back into that vivid blue. This is where we get to play. Okay. This is where we get to play. This is where our brush and our paint does all the work. We don't want this to be midnight black. We just want all these colors to kind of play together. And this is where my brain was having a hard time deciding what the last color was going to be. And I think the carousel pink is going, no, the royal fuchsia is going to win. I think I want I want it to be really bright at the bottom. Okay. So I'm just going to work that in. I'm not worried about this really bottom. See how it's kind of white down here? Not worried about that. We're going to be covering that with our trees later. So I'm just working this pink. We just want little flashes of light, and there it goes, okay? We don't necessarily want it to go all the way to the top. We just want our pink to kind of fade effortlessly into the blue up here. We want it to be very blue up here, really pink down here, okay? So there's our background. We're going to leave it alone. I am going to wash my brush. Put it in my dirty brush water. Okay. So let's go ahead and blow dry that. Absolutely, Sheila. So usually we are the ones that are getting hit with the hurricanes over here in Louisiana, but I'm telling you, Florida got hit. That Hurricane Ian is a doozy. I had to turn TikTok off. I couldn't, all of the updates were making me cry. Like just watching these people's houses be completely flooded. It was awful. It was breaking my heart. It was so sad. So we want to blow dry this completely dry. You got the YouTube notification. Oh, you got notified. I'm so excited. Usually Facebook doesn't let people know that I'm live, and it's frustrating because people, plan for it. But worst case scenario, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be live on Mondays and Thursdays. So you can almost just check if by 10 a.m. if I'm not here, then you know what, we could go a little bigger. I didn't realize how small it was. I'm going to be here at 10 a.m. On Mondays and Thursdays, give or take a break. I do take breaks every so often, just to kind of like mentally refresh, so I can bring y'all new and exciting things. Good morning, Miss Pam. My notifications went away and I can't seem to get them back. Anyone know how? Okay, so if you go to my page and go to where my name is, where it says Wallace House Designs, there should be either a ... or a little hamburger looking thing or a bell. You can hit that and it should say notify me, and it gives you options of notify me. You have to manually go in and do it, and it's so frustrating. Okay, so we've got our night sky done. It doesn't have enough white in it. I want a little bit more white. So we're going to go in with a second layer, and we're going to mist it again, okay? The reason I blow dried it is because I wanted this to be pretty set. Now I'm wetting it again, so it's gonna re-wet the original paint, but not as much as it would have been completely wet. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with just a little bit of white, and I'm just going to kind of watercolor that in, and I'm just going to do that a kind of across what I would consider a horizon. Just want to lighten it up just a little bit. Clean my brush because I don't want any more white in my paint palette in my brush. I'm going to pick up this Vivid Blue, and I really want this top to be pretty dark. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, that's exactly, and then I'm going to go in with this fuchsia, Royal Fuchsia one last time. That purple is really popping, so we're going to leave it alone. We're not going to add any more. Okay, you can play with this until you are completely happy. I'm adding a little bit more white. Just teasing a little bit on my brush. Okay, there we go. I'm happy. I say that. A couple more strokes. Just a couple. There we go. Now I'm happy. Okay, now we're going to blow dry it one last time, and then we're going to get into actual painting, okay? Hey, Terry. Good morning. Party for the party. I was watching another Erica tutorial. There's plenty out there. You can get lost. You can get lost in the trenches of tutorials out there. Where did you get your small mister? Hobby Lobby. Priscilla, okay. It's over in the fine art section where you can buy brushes one at a time. It's over there. So they have like little writer bottles and they have droppers, but they also have these little fine misters. They also have like a little spray mister that's ultra fine. We don't need ultra fine. We just need something that's not going to make our page sopping wet. Okay. Okay. So let's grab, we need a little flat brush, but not a massive flat brush. Let's see what we've got over here. I kind of want, okay, this will work. I want a moon. Because I want to use glitter. And to use glitter, I need something to put glitter on. I don't want glitter on the whole thing, but I do want a moon. So we're going to wet our fan brush. Let's go ahead and wet our fan brush. Because before we move on to anything, okay, I wet my fan brush. I dried my fan brush, and I'm just kind of hitting the edge of the table like this to kind of break my bristles up a little bit. Okay, because there was like 3 big clumps of bristles. Once you wet your fan brush, it gets to a particular little state, and I just do this number, okay? Just it kind of extra dries your brush out, okay? And we're going to take our little mister. I'm going to use Raylan's paint palette for a second. Do a little bit of water. I'm going to take my fan brush. There's multiple ways you can do this, and I'm going to dip it in the water, okay? And I'm just thinning out my white paint. And then I'm going to I would normally take a brush that has one of these rubber stoppers on it. But even if you don't have one, you can use any brush. So I take two brushes, the one with paint and the one no paint, not wet, nothing. It has to be a dry brush. Otherwise, you'll get a big mess going on. Let's go ahead and go tap, 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 baroo. Yes, you do have to sing it just like that. And you just do this until you're happy with your stars. So look how easy it was to get stars. Because remember, we're creating the heavens, right? So we're going to clean our fan brush. This one was clean. We just used it as a tool. The reason I like to use the ones with the rubber stopper on them or the rubber handle on them, because your brush bounces and you don't get that clink, clink, clink. And while I'm live, I don't like to make any extra noise than I have to. Okay, so I'm just drying my brush out again. Okay, and we're going to lay it flat. So the way you let your fan brush dry is you clean it, straighten out your bristles. And I always do this little number just to kind of help fan out a little bit of that extra excess water because it'll dry faster. And then I just lay it flat. So I'm going to lay it flat. And you just let it air dry and it'll come back to like that in no time. Let's see what you've been up to since the last time you saw me. Well, Terry, see yesterday, what was yesterday? Because I was live Monday and we painted, if you're wondering what I'm painting on, I just taped my mixed media paper to the back cover of my mixed media pack because I want to keep it straight. So we painted, while we're waiting on that to dry a little bit, we painted this on Monday. So since I painted that, what have I been up to? Had a parent teacher conference with Miss Raylyn and her teacher because she's struggling. She's struggling a little bit in school. I'm gonna take my flat brush. This is just a Royal & Langnickel. I think this is about what? It says a 12. It says a 12. We're gonna take some white paint. Where'd my white paint go? So I put it over here. Take some white paint. I do want to make a moon. So decide whether you want a yellow moon or a white moon. I want a white moon. And actually, I have circles cut out. I just have random circles cut out of spare wood. How big do I want my moon? That's too big. I know I've got smaller circles. I think I have smaller circles. Maybe I don't. That's the smallest circle. But this washi tape will probably be small enough. I feel like that's too small. I need a mama bear circle. You know what? I think I found it. I think that. Okay. So, and take and lightly that's off of the I don't like that. I wanted my moon like that's okay. We'll just do it. Okay. I didn't want my moon off of my page. I wanted my moon to be like a full moon. Like I wanted a full moon on the page. So I'm not being persnickety. I'm just kind of throwing a circle on here for my moon. You don't want it to be too big. You don't want it to be too little. You don't want some little baby moon and big, you want there to be a decent sized moon because we're painting the heavens, right? So while that is still, we're going to do 2 coats of that white because this is blue. And blue and white don't mix very well. So yeah, we had a parent-teacher conference to kind of go over how we are going to help her learn. She's smart. She's so stinking smart. But she struggles with the way that traditional teaching, I think a bunch of kids do. So you could show her a word 50 times and tell her what that word is, and then ask her to tell you what that word is on her own. And she is like frozen, deer in the headlights. But audibly, so what we've determined, she's what they call an audible learner, an auditory learner. Like she learns from listening and watching, but not necessarily a visual learner. Like as far as like she can see it on the paper and she just knows that's what that is. She needs to see you do it. She needs to hear you say it. So we're trying to just like through osmosis, trying to help her get that taken care of. Other than that, it's been pretty chill. I've just been designing. Paint Studios October designs are submitted and in, and Tribe designs are submitted and in, and they are going to be so cool. I don't want to give anything away, but they're going to be so cool. So I just grabbed a little bit of gray sky. These are all Deco Art colors, okay? I just grabbed a little bit of gray sky, and I'm just kind of muddling it on this moon. I don't want to cover all the white. I just want to add some like little divots to the moon, and then I can go back with white and add white on top of that. We're just muddling. But I don't want to mess up my shape of my moon because it was a really good shape. Good job, Erica. Okay, so there we go. I want just a... So I'm just pouncing it on and smoothing out those pounces a little bit. And that gives me some nice little texture to my moon without being super duper over the top, right? This is not going to be the showstopper. These trees are, okay? So other than that, I mean, it's just been really, really chill here at the house. I'm going to take another fan. This one's wet, okay? I'm going to take this dry one, and I'm going to take lamp black. We are going to use black. Y'all know me. I normally don't like to use straight black on my pieces. And if I can't find it, we may have to use midnight blue because I thought it was just right here. That hurt. I just reached in a very awkward angle and it hurt my arm. Where is my lamp black? I know I didn't put it up. You know what? Raylan was over here. She put it up because it's not in its spot, but it is put up. She was putting paints up the other day, and I was like, "Baby, don't do that. I know you're trying to help, but don't do that because they go in very specific spots." So I just used a little bit of lamp black, dry brush. Okay, loaded my brush, and I'm gonna swipe the majority of it off. We're gonna load it again. We're gonna work our color into the bristles and then swipe most of it off. Okay. We're going to take our brush and go straight up. Okay. Like I said, we're not going to worry about that little baseline down there because, and every time I pick up black, I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to brush most of it off. Okay. We're going straight up. Okay. You can give it a little bit of a flick to the left or to the right, but for the most part, you want to go straight up. This is just creating that little bit of a baseline. We're barely touching the page. Okay. You never want to come down. You just want to go up. Okay. And I am getting a little bit taller with some of them. Well, I don't want to go too crazy with it. We just want to fill in the back there just a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy. Okay. Just want to give a little bit of an ombre, kind of it's phasing itself out. So this is something that we will build up just a little bit. It's not going to take a lot, but it will, you got to do it in layers. You got to start off because you want this down here to be the darkest. going to show you a trick. If you end up getting a little too heavy for some spots, guess what? That just dictates it. Like right there, that's a little heavy. I'm going to have a tree right there. So you can't really mess this part up. You just don't want this to be a solid black rectangle. Okay, I think I'm pretty good. There we go. All right. So with the same brush, actually, we're going to switch over real quick. I'm going to take my little flat brush. I'm going to dip it in my black paint. And I'm going to start giving myself little little trees. You don't want them to be all the same size. I want some bigger than the others. I want one here right on the edge. Okay, so there we go. All right, so there's our, that's going to give us the base of where the majority of our trees go. It's okay if we can say we cover this one right here completely up with the branches of this one and this one. Okay, no big deal. Let's see where my black go. Let's see. Is it poinsettias? A new design? It's not. It's not. It is a new design. Well, I mean, it is a new design. All right, so we're going to load our brush up just like we did with this. And we're going to go on the very corner. So I don't have, okay, so pretend this is my page. I'm going to turn it this way. So I don't have my brush like this. I have my brush like this. The very corner is touching. And as I get to the fatter part of my tree, I'm going to slowly rock this way to where that's when it's hitting. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to start here. And then I'm using more pressure as I get further down. And then I'm going to slowly start bringing this point. So I'm at like, I'm at about 3 o'clock here as I start. I'm at about 2:30 actually. As I start at the top and as I go a little further down, I'm going closer to 1 to then to noon. Okay. So I start here and then I go like this as I get to the, and if you're starting to run out of paint, don't worry. Flip your brush over. Guess what? You have a full brush of paint. And then you just get more pressure and wider bounces. Okay, and as you get back up to the top, there's our first tree. Sitting at the cardiologist waiting on an echo. Oh no. And pathway through this. Oh. Through a stress. Oh, Laura, I hope you're Romo doggy, baby. I hope your appointment goes well. Graham just got back from a doctor's appointment. He's gonna have to wear a heart monitor for a couple of weeks. So it sounds like y'all are having similar situations. All right. So as I got about a third of the way down, that's when I started picking my brush up. Okay. I'm just gonna, this is a bigger tree, so I'm gonna get wider and wider. So this one only, Romo, baby. I'm so used to it, I didn't even hear it. Romo. Baby. So I'm gonna get wider and wider. This one's only about 1.5 inches wide at the very bottom. This one's probably gonna be closer to 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches. So, but the thing is, they kind of disappear into each other towards the bottom. Okay. So I'm picking up a little bit of paint. I don't pick up a lot of paint. I just dip the very bristles of, and then I go back and forth on my palette. I'd much rather add paint because it's not thick enough on a second layer than add too much paint on the first layer and not be able to enjoy what I just did, right? All right, so I'm going to start over here. I don't want to do this itty bitty little tree. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm afraid of that little itty bitty tree. I'm always afraid I'm going to cover it up. So I'm over on the very, very edge of my brush. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Now starting to wiggle to the left and right just a little bit. And I'm picking my brush up just a little bit. And about a third of the way down, I'm at 12 o'clock. Okay. So I start off about 2:30. And as I get to about a third of my tree, I start picking up to about 12 o'clock. And then I just empty out my brush because now I don't have as much paint on my brush. I can do the reverse and be able to use a little bit more pressure to kind of smooth those little brush strokes out. Now I'm not painting. This is my life all day. This was all day yesterday. It's homecoming week at all the schools here, and I swear the shenanigans. It's ridiculous. Roma, baby, I'm gonna put you outside if you can't handle it. You wanna go outside? Oh, I can't snap that finger. Come here. Come here. Come here, baby. It's okay. He knows he's in trouble. He's got his ears down. You need to lay down. You're sending everybody's dogs into a tizzy. You need to lay down. Lay down. Find a spot and lay down. Don't tell me no. Lay down. He goes. He was about to shake his head. The problem is he lays down by the front door a lot. And so he can hear every little noise. Okay. Well, the good thing about him barking is it's letting each individual tree dry in between trees. You don't have to let that happen, but it does kind of help without avoid moving any of this wet paint over. But we're putting down such a thin layer of paint. It's really not going to be wet by the time you get to a new tree. All right. So a little bit more pressure, a little bit left to right rocking. Just bounce, 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 bounce. Okay. Now I'm up to about. Now, if I'm going to go back up like I am, I need to come back to about 2 o'clock. I can't be like this. I can't be up like this at the very tip top of my tree because that's going to create this big wide fan. We need to be just 3 bristles need to touch our page. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Is that Burger King or McDonald's? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Now remember, we put this little brother tree over here. That's technically on our painter's tape, but we're going to see just the little hint of a tree off to the side. It's just like polka dots. It's going to make the illusion of this. We're just seeing a little snippet of this scene, right? We don't want our trees just to have like hard lines, like it's tunnel vision. We want it to look, so I'm going to come over here and kind of fan little bristles from another. So it kind of looks, and it's just kind of, I'm really doing a tree on the painter's tape itself, just so that the very edge of the tree. All right, now if you want to put a little bit of highlight on these trees, which I really don't recommend because let's be real, that's pretty daggone awesome. You dip your brush in black, okay, pick up just the teensiest little bit of white. Just the teensiest little bit of white, okay. So there's gray on my brush, and I'm going to go back over with a little bit of gray. And I'm going to do very little, just very little, okay? That's not even enough to have changed. Okay, here we go. Here's some gray. Hold on. So my bristles got really clumped together, so I just went off to the side of my palette, and I just kind of did the whole sliver right here. From my baby. And I just kind of, I'm just kind of fanning in just a little bit of gray. It's going to break it up just a little bit. This is skippable. You do not have to do it if you love your painting. Okay, if you love your painting, leave it alone. But this gray is going to add just a little bit of light, not a lot. And if you lose the tops of your tree, like I just did there, just go vertical. So instead, okay, so while we're painting, I'm going side to side like this. So I lost the top of my tree. So I'm going to turn my brush like this, and I'm just going to go boop. You can just make a tree just a little bit taller. A little bit wider. Remember, a couple of bristles. Do that little make-believe tree off to the side, that little make-believe tree off to the side. You just play until your heart is content. There we go. So there are my trees that are built up, and I am going to kind of pick up a little bit more black. Trying to find a dry spot on my palette that doesn't have a paint puddle because I need to break up my bristles a little bit. Remember, we want to go back and create our grass if we've lost our grass a little bit. All right, we're done. We're done with the trees. Is that it? Laura, it is a fan brush. Okay, this is too small for me to see what the writing is on it. I don't have any. I don't have any writing on it. Huh, Shirley, I don't have. There's no writing. Good morning. What are we painting today? We're just doing some little mixed media painting to go in our Bible because I want to. We picked Psalm 19:1. And we'll read that one more time so that you can kind of get an idea of where my brain was going with this. It says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the expanses proclaim his work of his hands. And so, I mean, we're painters, right? We're crafters. And so if we really think about it, God was the absolute first master painter because he painted our skies, right? And so when I read that, my brain was like, I mean, what about the Northern Lights? Or what about like a beautiful nighttime sky? And so the way my brain kind of accentuated that, like, I just want to focus on the sky because it says the heavens declare the glory of God. It was like that. When I think heavens, I think the stars and like the sky itself. And so I was thinking, well, why don't we just do a starry night? Then the only way that I know how to focus on the actual night itself is to do a silhouette. So we did the silhouette of some trees with a fan brush, and we did some wet technique for our background, and then we just hand painted in a moon, and it turned out really, really, really cute. I do want to go back in. I may ask my friend to hand letter something. I don't know quite what I want. I think I want the heavens declare the glory of God, kind of hand lettered in some really pretty hand lettering. I just don't know if I want it to just go right here, if I want it to go over the moon. Or if it goes, I don't want to go over the trees. I don't want to distract from the trees. But this is our painting for today. Let's see if we can reveal it. Y'all ready for a reveal? So I use painter's tape to hold my page down. But the thing about painter's tape is it's going to give it a frame too. So we did a fun watercolory background. Not quite watercolor because we used acrylics. We also did, what else did we do? We did a fun moon, hand-painted moon. We did some splatter paint for our stars, and we practiced with our fan brush because we're all about practicing with our brushes and our technique and learning new techniques around here to better our painting skills, become better painters. Okay, look at I can't wait for y'all to see this knot on a white background. Hold on. Uh-oh. Painter's tape is splitting. Get back. There we go. A little pokey tool. But I also have brushes that have kind of a wedge on them. So let's do this. But there we go. And there is our artwork for today. If you notice the lines on the back of my mixed media pad, that was just so that I could, I did straight lines so that I could keep my I can line that up with my page, and my painter's tape would have been perfectly straight and made a perfect border. So the next time that we paint, it'll have that as well. Because my pages are a specific size, I have to cut my mixed media palette down, my mixed media page down. And so, okay, let me show you how I plan to add this in. Okay, so I've got to seal this. So I can't add it in quite yet. So I want to add it in. It just so happens on this page, because this is where the Bible verse is, it just so happens there's a kind of a devotional page already. So I'm going to add it to the devotional page itself. And I'm going to add it. I'm either going to take some washi tape and add it to the center right here to where it hinges like this. Or I'm going to take some washi tape and hinge it here on the actual page of the Bible. Line it up top and bottom of the actual Bible to where it hinges like this, and I can write notes on the back. But I've got to seal it first because I don't want any of this paint to transfer to the inside of my Bible page. I'm going to use a matte sealer. I'm not going to use glossy because glossy is sticky. I don't want it to be sticky. We're going to use matte. So I'm going to put my Bible off to the side. That's not my everyday Bible. That I bought that strictly just to add artwork in and to have like as a devotional Bible. So let's see. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. Oh, thank you. Y'all can do this. Y'all saw it. It was super simple. These are not hard techniques. I would love, if you end up painting this, I would love to see your artwork. I would love to see it. Please tag me in it. I use a heated tool to warm up the tape. Yeah, I was thinking about, I was afraid that if it got stuck and started ripping the page, I was like, I bet you I can use my blow dryer and kind of loosen up that adhesive. I've always wanted to get better at this. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Cindy. It just takes a little bit of practice. I want to add some highlight to these trees so bad. I want them to pop, but I don't want them to be distracting from the background. So I'm just going to leave it alone. So we are going to take, I have a piece up right here. So I'll say I just have a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to put it like this. And I'm going to add a sealer. Let's see. This one is the high gloss. What is this? This is not sealer. What are you? No, you are not sealer. I don't use the matte one too terribly often. Give me just a second. It's somewhere on this paint cart. Just got to turn it around till I find it. Bet you this is it. Yep, this is the matte. This one's matte and this one's gloss. Yeah, this one's matte. So I'm going to use matte just because matte's not going to end up being sticky. Let me get my sealer palette out. So this one just has if you see all the different layers of sealer on here, y'all just know me. I don't like to waste nothing. So I've been using the same tray for sealing. Oh, you know what? I want it. We're going to lay that off to the side. I want glitter. So I picked up this at Hobby Lobby the other day. It's called Crystal Ball. It's the holographic illusions. So y'all know I've been using this folk art Snowfall. Okay. And I love it. It's super chunky. This one seems like it would be smaller pieces. So let's use this. I'm afraid it's white. Hold on. Stand by. We're about to test dry something. If it's white. No, it's clear. Okay, it's clear. So I'm going to, I told you I wanted to put some glitter on the moon because I wanted my moon to glisten. I should have done this before we took the painter's tape up, but I'm confident I can put a quick little, and I may have to do a second coat after I put the sealer on, just because that matte sealer is going to mattify my glitter. I'm going to be upset about it. The only reason I'm not going to use a glossy one, I think I've said it, but I don't think I've finished the sentence. I'm not going to use a glossy sealer because the glossy sealer can tend to be a little sticky, or not tacky, but it can have be a little grabby. You know, if it gets warm or anything like that. And I just don't want it to rip the pages of my Bible in the event that it gets warm and it sticks to my Bible page that it's touching. So there's that. Ooh, that's super pretty. Okay, I like the crystal ball. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can catch. It's got really good glitter coverage for a glitter paint. and it's not super chunky glitter. I mean, it's not super fine. I want ultra fine glitter. I've been looking for glamour dust. So if anybody knows anywhere to find glamour dust in a store, otherwise I've got to make an order for Deco Art because that's the only place so far I've been able to find it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. I think I love this better than the, what is the glitter that I use that's iridescent and clear? Oh, it's called Crystal too. Like it's got crystal in the name. I feel like this sealer is about to mattify all this glitter and I'm not going to be happy about it. Look at that. Can you see the glitter now that it's dry? Look at that moon. I love it. Okay. That would have been really cool on the sky too. As stars, we said we were going to do the matte. Let's do a dry brush. I always like to use a dry brush to put on my sealers. I just like to saturate my brush and just go to town in one direction. Okay, so I start in one direction. So I'm going all the way up and down, except for this little bottom part. I did go ahead and I'm going to do it up here too. That's just to make sure I get the very edges. And then I'm going to, okay, we're going to let that dry and we'll do a second coat. And then on that second coat, we'll go horizontal. Oh, it didn't mattify it too bad. It didn't mattify it too bad. Okay, so that was the holographic illusions from Deco Art in Crystal Ball. Love it. I'm loving it. Even matte. It's super pretty. Look, you can still see the shine of it. It's not glittery when it's mattified, but it's got this iridescent shine. It's super pretty. I don't even think I'm going to go back and put a second coat of that to make it super shiny. I think I'm going to leave it alone. So now I'm going to turn it sideways and I'm going to go one long stroke here. Okay. One long stroke here just to make sure that I get all the edges. And I'm going to I just want this to be ultra protected. Okay. And it will dry a little wrinkly only because I took it off of my kind of stretched the back of my mixed media pad. Had I left it taped down, it wouldn't have been as wrinkly. But now, because I'm wetting the entire page with the sealer is going to wrinkle the page a little bit. But once I put it in my Bible and the Bible closes, it'll kind of iron it out. Okay. I love it. Exactly how I envisioned it in my head. And the glitter made it even better. Okay, so I'm going to put my sealers right back there. We're going to blow dry this really, really good. I'm even going to turn it over and make sure nothing seeps on the back. Okay. Now, like I said, there's so many ways that we can add this to our Bible. We can do hinges. We can do, okay, she's really heavy. We can do hinges. We can put it as an added page. Like we could just slip it in like this with some washi tape and attach it with washi tape. Let's see. We just want to line it up. And it would just fit in just like that. So now we've got, so that way we can do our Bible journaling or our Bible artwork and turn our Bible into like almost a visual. Think about kids' Bibles. Some people I've watched some Bible journalers over the years, and some people just tear them up in the comments, going, "Why are you destroying that Bible?" And I'm like, aren't children's Bibles illustrated? Like, nobody says anything about that. Why can't our Bibles be illustrated, and why can't we be the illustrators? And if it brings us joy, and if it glorifies God, like the heavens declare, why is it a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing? So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna hinge it to this, just so I can open it up and be able to write on the back. So if I have any notes about Psalm 19, I can write my notes on there, or we can even hinge it this way. Can even hinge it that way. The good thing about washi tape is that you can remove it, be able to write it, and then fix it back, or I can just write my notes on it. Another thing that I saw someone do is they wrote their notes on a Post-it note, and they washied the Post-it notes in kind of like a scrapbook page. It was kind of cute. People do all different things. Some people watercolor on the Bible itself. That way you're not covering the words. You can still see the words, but you have artwork. Like they'll put a piece of mixed media paper down, and they'll watercolor on top of the actual page. They actually make Bibles specifically for that purpose. I just didn't want, I'm really funny about keeping my Bible nice, crisp, and clean. I like to add my note pages in. I've always been really funny about that. What sealer is that? That's Liquitex. It's over in the fine art section. That one's actually that's not the right one. Oops. Liquitex matte varnish. I love this stuff. I have the matte, I have the high gloss, and I have the regular gloss, but I've been using the high gloss. I have not been touching the regular gloss since I picked up the high gloss. Say, hey, Mary. It dries clear. It does. It's super, super pretty. I love it. Let's see. The glitter. Okay. What glitter did you say again? That was Deco Art, Holographic Illusions, and Crystal Ball. And it does. I mean, like, it reminds me of Starfall, the one I've been using. But Starfall, look how chunky that glitter is. This one, I don't know if you can tell the difference here. This one is really teeny tiny. It's not micro, but it's smaller cuts of glitter. I love the idea of putting art in the Bible. I'm like, I feel like, why not? Why not? How is your arm doing? It's doing a lot better. It doesn't hurt as bad. What it does is I overextended my thumb yesterday, and the bone that I broke is correlated with the thumb. And so anything I do with my thumb, if I ever extend my thumb, or if I do something with my thumb, it can like exaggerate or kind of not injure it, but kind of make it hurt for the rest of the day. And I did that yesterday, and it hurt. But I was really good last night and rested it. I love a sketchbook for my Bible art journaling, but I love the idea of putting it directly in the book itself. Yes. Like, I want to be able to see it. Like, when I open my Bible, I want to be able to be visually stimulated as much as I am mentally stimulated when I read my Bible. I own all the illusion glitter, and they are all amazing. Well, Marie, I'm probably gonna have to go and get them all. I'm probably gonna have to go get them all. Because that one right there, I'm a believer. I've been avoiding these just because I cannot think. Craft Twinkles. That's it. Craft Twinkles and Crystal Clear. I have that one. This is what it reminds me of, but this has way better throw. Like, it has a better throw. Like, look at that. That swatch. That right there is beautiful. That was one coat. I don't like to use the pages in my journal Bible. I like doing them. I like doing it this way. Is this something you started doing? Yes, I just started doing this. I usually draw outside. Like, a lot of times it's in my Procreate app. Like, I'll do and y'all see them a lot. Like, some of the door hanger templates that are biblically based, they're some of my Bible journaling. And so I was like, why don't I just add it to the actual Bible page itself? That way, when I open my Bible, like, I see my own artwork. I love it. Okay. Well, that's all I have. I do I want some words here. I know for a fact I'm going to put down here Psalms 19:1, just so I can, when I open my Bible, I can know that that was the Bible verse that inspired that one. Alrighty. Oh, I use that glitter and I love it. Well, Sue, I think I'm about to go pick up a couple of other variations of it, because they have some. This is an iridescent one. And they had some other ones that I'm like, ooh, they have some really cool applications that I could use. We might have to go get those. If y'all have any questions about what we did today, like I said, we weren't really teaching anything specific. We were just hanging out, spending some time in the Word and fellowshipping together, and making some artwork off of what we were inspired by our Bible. If you have any questions, or if you enjoyed this, put it down in the comments. We'll do it more often together. If this is something that you like, I would love to share this part of my world with you. I'd never want anybody to be offended, especially with my Bible. But if this is something that kind of cheers you up and brings you joy, I would love to do this more often with us. I print out what I do in Procreate and add it to my Bible. Oh, Sandra, that's a cool idea. I never even thought about that. That would save me a whole lot of work of actually painting it. But this was fun. Okay, well, I'm gonna hop off now. I'm probably gonna make a trip to Hobby Lobby and go get me some more illusions, holographic illusions. If y'all have any questions, or like I said, if you have any suggestions, or if you have a favorite Bible verse that I need to check out, put it down in the comments. I'd love to go and check it out and see if it inspires me to do another one. Yes. Oh, thank you, Bacon. All right, I'm gonna hop off. I will see y'all later. Bye.